Thank you. And thanks everybody for being here and being part of this community. It's great. And Ashley, sitting right there, she's my inspiration. She will always be my inspiration. So when I got asked to speak today, I felt two things. Massively honoured and immediately like, oh no, now I have to speak in front of people. Because how do you sum up something that completely changed your life without oversharing or crying? Thriving Survivors wasn't just somewhere I attended. It was somewhere I fell apart safely and then slowly rebuilt. I experienced childhood abuse. And when abuse happens in childhood, it doesn't just stay there. It follows you. It shapes you. It shapes how safe the world feels, and it shapes how you see yourself. It shapes what you think you deserve. For a long time, I did what many survivors do. I minimised it. I normalised it. I told myself other people have had it worse. I became the strong one, the capable one, the independent one. I learned how to read a room in seconds, how to keep the peace, how not to need to be too much, and how to be fine. I became very good at surviving. But surviving is exhausting. And eventually my body and my brain basically said, we can't keep pretending that this doesn't affect us. I had a breakdown and I was signed off of work. And that was one of the lowest points of my life, not just because I was struggling, but because I felt ashamed that I was struggling. I remember sitting in my house thinking, I survived my childhood and this is what takes me out, just feelings. But the hardest part wasn't even the memories. It was the belief underneath them that maybe what happened to me meant something about me. That maybe I was too much or not enough or somehow fundamentally flawed. And if I'm being totally honest, for years I felt responsible. I carried this quiet belief that I must have done something, said something, not said something, that maybe I should have stopped it, maybe I should have known better, maybe I should have been different, even though I was a child. That's what abuse does. It doesn't just hurt you in the moment, it plants responsibility where it never belonged. It quietly rewrites your sense of worth, and I carried that for years whilst looking completely fine on the outside. It was my mum who told me about Thriving Survivors. And yes, I did go to that first group with my mum, which as an adult is both comforting and slightly humbling. Nothing like healing your trauma sitting next to your mum. I remember sitting there thinking, don't cry, don't overshare, and don't be the emotional one, which is ironic really because it's literally a place for emotions. Then I joined Discovering Me, and something shifted. For the first time, I understood that things I criticised myself for were actual survival strategies. Being hyper-independent wasn't just my personality, it was my protection. Struggling to trust wasn't stubbornness, it was my nervous system trying to keep me safe. Overworking wasn't ambition, it was me trying to earn my place in the world, trying to feel valuable, and trying to prove I deserve to be there. And slowly, I began to understand something I wish every survivor could hear clearly. It was never my responsibility, not then and not now. And when that clicked, it was like someone had switched the light on. I stopped asking, what's wrong with me? And started saying, of course I responded that way. Look at what I went through. That kind of self-compassion was new for me. And if I'm honest, slightly uncomfortable. I was much more used to being hard on myself. Around that time, I was between jobs and completely unsure what I was doing with my life. No 5-year plan, no big vision, just vibes, anxiety, and a lot of overthinking. Then I was given the opportunity to work alongside Ashley when Thriving Survivors was becoming a registered charity, and that time in my life was special. It was busy, it was exciting, and it was slightly chaotic, but it meant something. We were looking at office spaces, building structure, filing, and figuring things out as we went. This was a lot of learning, a lot of tea, and a lot of belief. But what stood out most wasn't the admin. It was being trusted. Ashley saw capability in me when I still felt I was rebuilding from scratch. She didn't see damaged. She saw leadership and she saw strength. And when someone reflects back to you a version of yourself that isn't defined by trauma, it changes something deep. That belief rebuilt confidence in me I didn't even realise I needed. That experience gave me the courage to apply for a job in social care, and that decision shaped my life. Now I work with people in crisis, people carrying trauma, people in survival mode. And I don't sit there from a place of theory. I sit there knowing what it feels like to hold it together until you can't. I know the shame, I know the exhaustion, and I know the fear of being too much. Thriving survivors didn't erase my past. It helped me understand it, and it helped me integrate it. It helped me see what happened to me as part of my story, but it is not my identity. Healing hasn't been linear. I still sometimes default to, I'll just handle it myself. Growth is ongoing and it's slightly inconvenient at times. But I am not living in constant survival anymore. I know who I am now. I don't see myself as broken. I see myself as someone who adapted brilliantly to survive something that should never have happened to me. And then I chose to grow beyond it. What started for me as one group became confidence. That confidence became opportunity, and that opportunity became purpose. And that purpose now ripples into the lives of the people I support every day. This is the impact of 10 years of work. And when survivors are given safety, belief, and opportunity, we don't just survive, we rise. Abuse was part of my story. It's not the author of it. So thank you. Thank you for creating safety. Thank you for centering lived experience. And thank you for being part of a community that proves survivors are so much more than what happened to them.